In Pearl Madonka's lecture, she spoke about her racialized identity and the ways in which racism has shaped her as a person and has had an effect on her professional career as a social worker. What I learned more in depth about social work practice was the fact that if I were to be a social worker and if I were trying to establish an anti racist and anti oppressive perspective in order to assess the particular needs of my client, I would have to be aware of my own racialized identity. In particular, I would have to examine how my client might perceive my own race and how that might interfere with gaining a true rapport with my client. By examining the ways in which I might have, well, which I do have a white backpack of privilege, I can become more aware of some of the experiences my client might be facing. With this knowledge, I want to be able to empower my client and help us to try and find clues together of trying to work past the overall larger structures that are systematically linked to racism. In Pearl's lecture, I also learned that systemic racism has a large impact within our Western society, but that our own racialized identity might block us from seeing how it happens and how it has a large impact in its own way on an everyday level. For example, when Pearl spoke about racism happening through social media, and the more she described how people will anonymously post racist comments on people's Facebook pages, the more I realized how my own privilege has protected me from this kind of abuse. By knowing about how my own racialized identity can impact a client, or how it can impact people around me in my everyday life, I can only then begin to truly implement an anti-oppressive and anti-racist framework in order to help reduce the power racism continues to hold on people. Moreover, I hope to implement this way of thinking in order to begin to systematically crush the oppressive nature of racism. I will do this with the tactics I mentioned before by tackling it at its core, which can only be done in our everyday to day interactions. Thank you.